how do you prioritize? So clearly you can pick any one of hundreds of workflows and say, all right, we're gonna rethink this one. I mean, how do you sit down as a group and say, we're going to focus on labor and delivery, we're going to focus on orthopedics? How do you, because you can't do it all. I mean,
Yeah.
we'll talk about budget in a little bit, but how do you prioritize?
Yeah, so we look at those insights again. We're always looking at what the opportunities are to improve the experience for the customer. And by experience, I mean, I include cost and quality as well. And so again, having those channels in my area, we have priorities in each one of those. And so I'll give you an example in the digital consumer. We realized that access was a huge opportunity for us. Our customer needed a better way to access the system. So we put a big priority on just simply accessing Banner. And I'm not talking about so much, the marketing outreach of how you reach somebody and, through social media or through a Google ad buy or those kinds of things, but how do you really make the system accessible? So we've focused in on that as one example, and we built a blueprint. We did some really interesting work with our customers. Rather than, I kind of have this fatigue about journey maps. I don't know if you do as well, but I don't ever want another consultant to come in and tell me that we need to map the customer's journey. I think we've mapped it enough. What we lack is a solution that the customer really wants, not just digitizing the one they have. But we did a really interesting, some really interesting work that we're in the middle of, where we brought in about 25 of our customers, and we just sat down and we had them tell us what the journey really is and what it should be. And we did that using a proxy methodology, where we showed them, here's all these other digital experiences in your life. Here's how you're using Rent the Runway to get a gown for this big event. Here's how you're using PackPoint. Tell us how you're using PackPoint to prepare for a trip. Tell us how you're using LG to buy a refrigerator. And then each one of those, we said, now, if that was a healthcare service, what would that mean? And so you can imagine, okay, LG is really cool. I can stand 3 refrigerators up to each other side by side, and I can kind of compare cost and quality and availability. And said, why can't I do that with your services? How come I can't compare 3 docs side by side? How come I can't compare emergency room, this doc, and urgent care side by side? And so we took all of that learning and we built what we call the blueprint, which is actually a visual representation of what it could be like to interact with this digitally, both through voice assistant, through native mobile, through web, through chatbot. And we painted this really compelling story. And then to answer your earlier question, we take that out to all those stakeholders and say, this is what Sophia wants. This is what she's asking for. This is how we all need to fit into this, so that revenue cycle isn't building one experience over here on the bill pay, scheduling is building another experience over here, and patient edge is building it. They all need to come together. So those blueprints become really helpful in bringing us all together around that customer.